Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
On this Camper Report Show, it's the start of a new year, and I have an exclusive, underline exclusive, interview with the editor of Woodall's Campground magazine, Ben Quiggle, on three trends for 23, and they are going to really surprise you, Bob Zagami.
Well, that's good. Ben's always a good guest, and of course, we get all of our news for the show from our friends at RV Business and Woodall's Campground Magazine.
Yep. And how
Well,
about you?
I've got a pre-show interview for the Tampa Super Show with Dave Kelly, the executive director of the Florida RV Trade Association. Tell you everything you want to know about the Tampa Super Show.
And we're going to be at that super show.
We
And
are.
we need to find out the best restaurants and the best places to relax. So hope you found that out for Mr. Kelly.
I told him to have it ready first when we get there on Tuesday.
Those stories plus all the news of the week right here. Where, Bob Zagami?
On the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everybody. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the news segment of the Camper Report Show. My name is John DePietro, and where are you? There we go.
The other way. I'm over here.
His name is Bob Zagami. We've got all the news of the week. And Bob, it's a very interesting news week because we're going to tell you about one company that is exiting the luxury fifth wheel market and one company that is entering the luxury fifth wheel market. So
I'm glad you picked up on that, John.
Yeah. But before we get into those two companies, which are both highly recognized people in the RV industry, let's talk a little bit about a program that the RV Industry Association is putting together for dealers, not dealers, but manufacturers out in Elkhart. It's called Path to Purchase. And basically what they're trying to do is tell the manufacturers what the consumers are looking for when they buy their next product. Talk a little bit about that program.
Yeah, this is an important program. It's something that their members, which are of course our manufacturers, have been asking for the past 3 or 4 years because of the rapid change in the demographics of the RV industry. We've seen a significant drop in the average age of people, significant expansion of many age groups from kids, young adults getting out of high school and college, all the way up to mature retired couples. And there's so many people in each of those categories.
Yeah.
It's quite an extensive project, and I give them credit for spending the money on the market research because it's going to guide the industry over the next 10 years. The decisions that these companies make will at least be grounded in acceptable market research and trending for their future products. So it's a nice way of getting the consumer input, getting their trends, getting their habits, and what they want. So that the path to purchase is going to be good. And a lot of that information will find its way out to the dealers and the consumers themselves. So there's going to be a lot of education coming out of this.
Yep, no question there. The interesting aspect is that the age of the new RV buyer has dropped so much that the methodology that they use to figure out what unit they want to purchase is changed. And you know what? Who didn't know it was the manufacturers. That's the crazy thing. So maybe our industry friends from Reston, Virginia will be able to bring them up to date on new ways to market to the new market. Market to the new market. See, market is both a verb and a noun.
Oh, good. Okay. If you
We're
say
doing
so.
some amazing things on this. Now, let's go to what we led with. There is a company that has a 50-year history that is famous for top quality motorhome products that is exiting the towable market. Talk about that.
Yeah, Tiffin Motorhomes has made the difficult decision to get out of the luxury fifth wheel business, as you say. And this was especially difficult when you think of it. So the brand name is Van Lee. Well, that's the name of two of Bob Tiffin's sons and grandsons. So they brought that under the Tiffin umbrella about 2 years ago. Started out as a separate company, come in under the Tiffin umbrella, so everything was under one roof. So here's Lee Tiffin, the grandson of Bob Tiffin, who's now the president of the company, having to make a decision to actually close the company that's named after him.
Yep.
And
now, we should be very, very clear in pointing out they're not closing, not having, this has nothing to do with the motorized division. That is staying and flying.
Yeah, they're going to take those resources, take that, money, take the manufacturing process, and build up more product capabilities for the motorized division. And actually, I think it's always difficult when companies make decisions like this, but I actually think it's a very good decision, because that luxury fifth wheel marketplace is getting very crowded. Yep. You've got Grand Design, you've got Alliance, you've got Cougar, Montana, you had Van Lee in there, and there are several others, but there's only so much market share. In fact, I had commented on that to an analyst a couple of weeks ago, that is there enough business out there for all of these companies to be profitable and justify the manufacturing required to push these products to market? And I think that they looked at this marketplace and said, you know what? We do a lot better on the motorhomes. We can certainly expand our product lines. That's what we're famous for. Let's get out of the towable business and look at what we can do on motorized products.
Right.
So
and as our friends from Tiffin, exit that segment, our friends, the Fenech brothers, are entering the luxury fifth wheel marketplace with a brand new product called Brinkley. Huntley and Brinkley.
So they are entering with
Huntley model and a Brinkley model.
Right, but they are entering the fifth wheel marketplace again, because they were the brains behind Grand Design. So they know how to do this, and they've been, successful in many aspects of the RV industry. And even Bill Fenech with his pontoon boat company, Barletta Boats, that he sold to Winnebago a few years back. So they know how to make fifth wheels, and they put a lot of research into what the next generation of fifth wheels should be like, with one of their primary focuses being on quality and unique features. So they know what they're doing, and they're going to come out with a splash at the Tampa Supershow. They are showing it at a couple of other shows around the country right now in the month of January, and it's highly anticipated from the consumers. It's a beautiful looking unit. I've seen some videos on it.
I've been in
it. Star of the show.
When I had a chance to go out to open house back in September, I viewed the first model. Interestingly, one of the people in the audience, when they unveiled that, they pulled a big curtain off and they had lights and sound and everything. One of the audience members asked Bill Fenech, where did that term Model Z come from? And Fenech, without any hesitation at all, said, it's the Zagami model.
Well, I hope I get some royalties from it then.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. So that
I don't have any problem with the model name. I like it.
No, and you know what? We'll get to see it. And when we are in Tampa, we will have pictures and interviews and so much more on all of the new items that are going to be introduced to the general public at that Florida RV show.
And we should say, if you are going to the Florida Supershow, you will find the Brinkley in the general RV center booth, because when that show opens, it's kind of dealer focused. So look for general RV, and they've got several displays in the show, one of which will be the Brinkley RV, and I'm sure that Ron Fenech and Bill will be there, greeting their old friends in the industry and new customers.
And you and I will be there, and maybe maybe the Model Z that's right here will be with the Model Z that's in the Brinkley display, and we'll have a unique picture of two Model Zs at the same time.
Make sure you remember that. I'm going to hold you to that.
Exactly. So we want to thank you so much for joining us for the news segment. Remember, we have two great features coming up right here on the Camp Report Show, and we get our news, Bob, where?
RV Business with Rick Kessler, and Woodall's Campground Magazine with Ben Quiggle, who will be on the show later.
Great.
Mike here from RV Blogger. Don't waste hundreds of dollars on an external GPS for your RV. All you need to do is download the RV Life app right onto your phone. This app is so cool. It has RV GPS built right into it. So you can load all the specific measurements and weights for your RV. It'll give you directions safe for your RV to follow. And by the way, if you have RV Trip Wizard, directions for your trips upload into this GPS automatically.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Camper Report Show. And today our guest is Dave Kelly, president of the Florida RV Trade Association. And it's a big week for you next week. Dave, tell us a little bit about this small show you got down in Tampa there.
Yeah, our little show starts up next Wednesday. Of course, we start with Tuesday with the Industry Day. So we've got probably half of the guys already moving in out here. They're out washing coaches and setting them in place. I think the temperature right now is 81 degrees and the sun is out, and it's absolutely beautiful down here. And the knock on wood, the forecast for next week is beautiful. So,
well, that's kind of cold, Dave. Can you get it up to 85 or 90 when I come down?
Whatever you want, we'll make it happen for you, Bob. So yeah, everything's looking good for next week.
What in anticipation of the crowd, you get record numbers down there, and one could argue the largest show in the country. And it's the thing I like about it is you draw people from all over the country. I mean, you get a lot of people in Florida during the winter anyways, but talk about the demographics and what you like about the audience that you see there every year. And do you think you might break a record this year?
Yeah, I mean, last year we had an incredible crowd, over 80,000 people, which was just amazing. I mean, we had the DMV threatening to close our parking lots. So we were backing them up out onto Highway 301 and the interstate. So, no, it's interesting, Bob, because this really is a picture of the Eastern United States when you look at our attendance. About half of the people are Florida residents, and the other half are from all over the country and internationally, including Canada and some of the South American countries even we have people fly in from there to see the show. So it really has gotten to be almost an international event, not just nationally, but it is really a good picture of the entire Eastern United States, because so many people are down here wintering with us and coming to the show and have been coming to the show. This is the 38th year of the show. So they've gotten used to it and they look forward to it every year. So yeah, it's an interesting array of people from all over the country, really, and even Canada.
Well, not just the consumers. This is really a show that the entire industry uses as a bellwether to kind of see how 2023 is going to go. And with the changes towards the end of last year and inflation and, some of the manufacturers cutting back on production, we're getting back to a more normal environment, something similar to what we saw in 2019. So it's not bad. It'll still be a great year, but there'll be some changes. So the entire industry looks at you in this manner, right?
Yeah, exactly. You kind of set the tone for the year, if you will. We just checked with our online ticket sales, which we started a few years back. Right now, Bob, we're 17% ahead of where we were in pre-ticket sales over last year. And like you said, last year was a record year for us. So, I mean, we're anticipating, huge crowds again this year.
That's a great number, 17%. That certainly gets you off on the right foot when people make that kind of a commitment to buy them online. And because nobody wants to stand in the long lines that you get down there. That's a great incentive.
Right. That's exactly how we sell it. You buy your ticket ahead of time and walk right through the gate. You don't even have to stop at the ticket windows. And we are trying something new this year with the fairgrounds, kiosks out front. So it should help speed up. It allows us to have many more places to buy a ticket without having a manned booth there. So you swipe your credit card, hit number of tickets, and it punches them out, and in you go. So
now, is that something that the fairground kind of incorporates in all their events, or is that you bringing it to the campground?
They just signed an agreement with, so we're going to be the first event with this ticketing system that they're going to try it with. And the Florida State Fair is like 3 weeks right after we close the doors here. So they're really anxious to see how that works out, because they're going to put it in place for the fair too.
So you're the beta site. Right?
Or the guinea pigs, if you will.
Before they get ready for the state fair, let's try this out on Dave and his team. We'll still have a couple of days to fix anything that doesn't
That's
go
right. They can fine tune it before their event.
Yeah. One of the other things that the industry likes to look at the Florida show is that's where many companies will launch either their company or a new product. So this year you'll see people like Elevation Park Model Homes will be there with their new park models. You got Brinkley RV, a brand new RV manufacturer with some pretty deep roots with the Fenwick brothers and Grand Design and some of the other companies that they started with. And then you got Winnebago doing test drives and showcasing the new ERV2 transit-based Class B motorhomes. That alone is enough, but are there any other introductions that you know of that people might want to look at when they get down there?
Yeah, I know Prevost has something they're going to be unveiling on Wednesday morning before we open the doors. And they got quite a bit of media going to be covering that. We're not sure exactly, they're kind of playing it close to the vest. So we're not sure, what they're going to be unveiling. But I think, I don't know if you mentioned Winnebago, I think with their handicap units has got another innovation they're going to introduce. And I think one or two others are going to be unveiling, if not actual units, prototypes of their EV units, which is really exciting to see the industry start to head that direction.
Yeah, I would expect to see more than just Winnebago showcasing that. I know Montana announced yesterday they got a new model of the Montana with a front office over the cab portion of the truck, and I mean it's an office. It's like when you go upstairs, say goodbye, honey. I'll see you this afternoon. I'm going up to the office to work today. So they're incorporating that. You can see a lot more companies incorporating that. We saw a little bit of that last year, but you'll see more of it coming into play this year.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, working has changed so much in the last, well, it's going on 3 years, which is amazing to think that it was March of 2020 that we went through this. But, if you can work anywhere, why work out of your house? I mean, why not work in, beautiful New England or out at Yellowstone, or, why not work out at, Zion or, one of the parks? I mean, if you can be anywhere, might as well enjoy the view.
Hey, you could park it right next to me, Dave, here on the beach and have the palm trees sitting there for you. And you'll be working on your laptop and dipping your feet and legs in the sand in the surf.
Yeah, exactly. No, travel. Everyone they've really reevaluated how they travel and the kind of vacations they're taking. So, RVs fit the bill for that, and we've been a great beneficiary of the things that have happened the last 3 years.
Yep. You got some of the largest deals in the country down here. I mean, the selection of product outside the show, that's what makes the show so interesting, because Florida is so big. A lot of people don't realize how big it is from one end to the other. But here in this one show, you get to see everything from a $15,000 pop-up to a $2.5 million Prevost.
Yeah, and we stress that in our marketing, is that there is an RV for everyone, no matter their price point. So, like I said, we have the low end entry level trailers, and all the way up to the, I don't know what they're topping out now, $3.5 million conversion buses.
Yeah.
Everything in between. And that's what people have kind of come to know about the show, is that the product's coming right from the manufacturers. So if it's being produced in the country, or even in some cases outside of the country, you'll be able to see it here at the show.
Yep, that's true. It's I must be, we're not as important as you are, Dave, because I didn't get the Prevost media release about any kind of a product or a press conference. So you'll have to kind of bring me in on your shoulders to see what I can imagine what it might be. I mean, I suppose they're already all electric. Most of those are all are all electric now.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm anxious to see.
Maybe to go back to introducing just $1 million motorhome or something.
Yeah.
get you into
something
that.
More in your price point.
Right. Get something more affordable. One of the things I've always enjoyed about your show is it's so wide open. It's so expansive. I mean, you can have 80,000 people, but you wouldn't know it. You could have 20,000 in a day, and it's so big, and there's so much to do. You've got entertainment. Tell people the other reasons. I don't think you have to sell us on the show. Everybody loves it, but there's so much to do there.
Well, we have a lot of people that come out here, Bob, with little to no interest in RVs because it's just a fun way to spend the day, and you get a 2-day ticket, so it's really a fun way to spend 2 days for the price of one. So, entertainment. You never know when you come around the corner if a bagpipe band's going to be coming at you, or a barbershop quartet, or a magician, or a juggler, or a stilt walker, or you never know what you're going to come across out here, entertainment wise. So, beautiful weather. It's great to be outdoors, and like you said, it's an easy show to get around, even though it's big. It's easy to navigate, and our interactive map now that we use, we're really going to be pushing that this year to get people using it on their devices, their phones, their tablets, whatever.
On the app.
Make it so much easier to find what you're looking for.
Well, you're right. I mean, you don't know what's going to be on the other side when you go around the corner. Last year, I almost got run over by those clowns in the train, and I'm not talking about, I'm talking about real clowns. The thing's only about this high off the ground, and I almost tripped over it. So
it's a lot of fun. It's a fun industry. I mean, as you know, as why we're in it. It is, and then we try to try to have a lot of fun out here, even though there's a lot of business being done. It's still a good time.
All right. Before I let you go, give us the times, the dates, the location, stuff, and I know you got it on your website also.
Yeah. Well, the 17th, Tuesday, is our industry day from 10 to 4. And then we open to the public on Wednesday morning, 9 to 6, and then 9 to 5 on Sunday. $15 for adults. Kids under 16 are free, so it's an inexpensive day with the family. $2 off on tickets online, so you can save money there. Or seniors, the first 3 days get $2 off Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So lots of discounts, EMT and first responders and military discounts.
Yeah.
And just one more thing about, we're trying something new with our seminars. Instead of the same seminar slate every day, each day is a different set of seminars. We had people saying we were here yesterday and saw those. So we're trying something new with new topics, a lot more, different things that we're doing in our seminar area again this year for the first timer and the season.
Yeah, seminars have proven to be really big. I know we've got a full slate on Saturday and Sunday of our show this weekend, and they really look forward to it. It's standing room only. People are thirsty for good education by knowledgeable people that can explain it in simple terms, so that it makes it easy for people to get into the industry.
Yeah, well, and we've had so many new people come in the last few years that really we need to address that and showing them, how to get started, what's it all about, because they're a little hesitant of walking on a dealer's lot and asking. So they get that information at shows like this and yours.
Yep. All right. Our guest today has been Dave Kelly, president of the Florida RV and Trade Association. Dave, I look forward to seeing you. I'll be down there with John on Tuesday for Industry Day, and we'll hang around for a couple of days and see what else you got for Wednesday and Thursday.
All right. Give yourself a couple of days if you're going to see everything, Bob.
I need that. You're right. All right. Thanks very much.
All right. Safe travels. We'll see you in a few days.
All right.
Hey, everybody, and thank you for joining us on the Camper Report Show. My name is John DePietro, and we have a special guest to start off the year. And let's just bring him in right now, and let's have a hearty welcome to Ben Quiggle from Woodall's Campground Magazine. Ben is the editor-in-chief, and really, we've been working with Ben for several years now as we collaborate with RV Business and Woodall's. And Ben, no better time to have you on than right at the start of the year. First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And can you give us 3 trends that you see happening in 2023 that our audience could be looking for as they begin their camping season?
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it's 2023 already. It seems like time flies. So it's just amazing. Yeah, I mean, I just got back from conferences. The National Association of RV Parks and Campgrounds holds an annual conference, Campgrounds of America. The Campground Owners Expo in Branson was great this year. And then there's a couple different states like New York and Pennsylvania. And sorry, that was my phone. But it was a great time. And I think some of the trends we're hearing is that there's still a lot of acquiring campgrounds going on, and there's still a lot of building going on, which is great to hear with the economic stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
Jeff Kreider, one of our writers, has a feature that we're working on. He talked with 30 new developments.
Wait. 30? 30 new developments. It's kind of amazing, and really maybe COVID pushed it, but the RV infrastructure really hasn't been brought up to date as much in the last 2 years since COVID kind of pushed it. Do you see that as a result of COVID, where new people are out there and now businesses and categories of businesses are looking into RV parks as investments, whereas they might have looked at hotels and shopping centers prior, but now they're looking at RV parks as a place to put their money?
Yeah, definitely. And I think they're noticing that the RV park and campground sectors are pretty resilient too. And that's the message I heard from the developers I spoke with at these conferences was, things may have slowed down a little bit to some degree. Maybe they're taking a little more time to acquire resorts or build things. It's taking a longer period of time to build a resort just because it's harder to get the supplies that you need. Getting construction workers to do it is a little bit more difficult right now, but they're still active and seeking out these developments. And that 30 number doesn't even include KOA. KOA has like 19 parks they're currently working to develop. So, I mean, you're looking at around 50 parks just in that one story that we have. And that's probably doesn't even encapsulate everything else going on. I think KOA added, 435 RV sites with patios last year. They added a total of like 2,200 RV sites last year in total. And they're adding even more. So I think it's just incredible what's going on. And I don't think that's going to slow down this year.
So the number one trend would be growth of the industry. Let me ask you, and maybe this is number 2. You had mentioned that KOA is building high-end spots, with patios, et cetera, et cetera. So they're at the higher end of the spectrum. At the other end, you've got the primitive people that want to go camping, but don't necessarily, they would look for a national park as opposed to a commercial RV park. Do you see that beginning to, not beginning, but continuing to rise as new people that don't want the parks come into the fold?
So you're talking about like the corporate versus like the mom and pop ones?
No, I mean people that want to go camping, but want to go to a national park or a primitive site as opposed to one that has a TV and a patio and a swing and all that stuff. Do you see that trend enlarging as well?
I mean, I think it just depends on the person. And I think honestly, some RVers do both. I mean, sometimes it's great to go to a national park, and national parks have some great campgrounds, but at other times they want to hit the resort. They want to go to maybe a campground that has better amenities than maybe like a national park. Although national parks are definitely increasing their amenities with all the funding that's going on. They got more electric sites. They're doing more work. They're doing glamping accommodations. So I think it just depends on the person. I don't know if it's going to lean one way or the other. So that'll be kind of interesting. So
well, for question 3 or trend 3, whatever, as I make these trends up as we go along, you had mentioned 30 new parks and then 19 new parks that are put together by KOA. On the 30 new parks, is there, are they tending to be mega parks, with 700-800 sites, or are you finding smaller sites? What seems to be the way that they're going?
I think a lot of the developers I speak with talk about there's a certain number of sites that they have to be profitable, and usually that number is over 100. It's hovers right around 150 on average, I think. I think you're going to see larger parks. I don't talk with a lot of developers that are doing 50 to 80 sites, the smaller parks. They're looking for that volume. And maybe even if they did start at the 80 sites, they have plans to go bigger or expand down the road. So they buy the acreage to expand down the road. So maybe they're starting small, but once the park's completely done, you're looking at 200 to 300 sites. I think that's the trend we're seeing, is that they are larger parks with a lot more amenities, a lot of different amenities. But, there still are park developers that are doing stuff that doesn't have a ton of amenities. Maybe they're catering to like workers, or they're catering to college students. So they're just putting in the basics. Now, do they add stuff down the road? Maybe. I don't know. There is a pretty big housing crisis. So there's definitely room for parks that cater to workers and traveling nurses and different things like that. So,
right. Ben, ironically, you're bringing up a totally new aspect of camping, because it's not really camping. It's temporary housing or transitional housing. And when we talk about camping here, we think of it more as a leisure time activity, but you bring up a totally new aspect of it. And, again, I'll go back to COVID as changing our lives in the RV industry and the camping industry, is that people now are able to travel with their kids and with their family and still do their job. So even though they're not, quote unquote, on vacation, they're still RVing.
Yeah, we've seen a big increase in that since COVID. And then I think it's just really shown a spotlight on the other side too, of like the nurses that travel and the construction workers. So maybe they aren't even bringing their families, but they're traveling to different destinations to do their jobs, and they need places to stay. And then I know in the campground sectors, we try to separate housing from campgrounds, because obviously campground isn't really a place where you're going to live permanently. Yep. It's not housing, but there are definitely developments that are catering to workers, or that leave segments of their parks for workers, because that's kind of a steady income. So that's definitely a trend we're seeing too. And that's probably going to increase. I know it's increased over the last few years. And as people work remotely more, it's, something that developers are looking at. So,
yeah. So what it all boils down to is things are still looking up for the industry, despite economic trends that say things are going to level off. Maybe they'll level off on the RV sales, but with those 1 million new units sold in the last 2 years, those people are not going to let them sit in their yards all year. They're going to head out to campgrounds all over the country, and we want to thank you. Thank you, Ben.
Well, I think just the last point. I mean, Campgrounds of America just said that they're expecting an even bigger year this year, so that's incredible. And then I mean, it's just there's no signs of a slowdown. I mean, there's definitely economic factors, but campgrounds seem to be resilient. So.
Exactly. And we've seen that over the years, regardless of the price of gas. If the price of gas goes high, they stay closer to home. If the price of gas goes down, they travel a little bit more. But either way, there's a magic in a campground vacation that you don't get in any other way. And we want to thank you so much for starting the year off on the right foot with us. And maybe we'll see you in March if you come back up to the Northeast for a conference again.
Yeah, Southbridge, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. There we go. So, everybody, our guest has been Ben Quiggle from Woodall's Campground Magazine. And we want to thank you, Ben, and let everybody know that they are watching the Camp Report Show.
Yeah, thanks.